Waste. If there's one thing that we're all good at creating, it's waste. Did you know it's estimated that each Australian produces almost 1 tonne of waste per year? It's not very impressive, is it? It doesn't smell too good either. But 80% of our waste can be recycled. We all know about recycling paper, glass and plastic. But what about other things we use every day? Like empty tins of oven cleaner, leftover turps, old tyres or used oil from the car. Is there an alternative to just dumping them? And what about industrial wastes? Many Australian factories produce some form of waste as a byproduct of their industrial processes. These wastes are either stored for long periods, treated and sent to a landfill, incinerated or dumped at sea. There has to be some other way to deal with the waste problem. The solution lies in 4 key approaches: waste avoidance and reduction, recycling and reusing waste, waste treatment, and disposal of waste in a safe manner. It is possible to reduce, even eliminate our waste problem, and one company is already taking positive steps towards achieving this for the community: Geelong Cement. Through a unique and innovative process, Geelong Cement is using waste products as an alternative fuel for its kilns, these huge furnaces used in cement manufacturing. And at the same time reducing its consumption of valuable natural resources such as natural gas, coal and coke. Did you know that about 7 million tonnes of cement is used in this country each year? That's 400 kilograms per year for every Australian. Now that's a lot of cement. The cement industry is obviously vital to the Australian economy, as well as being an essential part of our modern society. Geelong Cement is a major player in the cement industry. It is recognised as a reliable supplier of a quality product, and in order to retain this position and proceed into the next century as an environmentally responsible company, it faces challenges such as conserving the use of natural and fossil fuels, being environmentally conscious in the disposal of waste materials, producing high-quality cement that is competitively priced and meets customer needs, and ensuring the company continues to thrive, providing an adequate return for shareholders and a stable work environment for its employees. By meeting these challenges, Geelong Cement not only guarantees its own success, it also contributes to solving the world's environmental problems and sets a healthy precedent for others to follow. The production of quality cement is not only complex, it's also an expensive process, with 30% of production costs going into energy consumption. To make cement, limestone is first quarried, crushed, then carefully blended with iron oxide and bauxite. This mix is ground, water is added, and a fine slurry is produced. The slurry is homogenised and stored in silos ready to be fed into the rotary kilns. And it is the kiln that is the prime energy consumer in the cement making process. Once in the kiln, the slurry is dried, then gradually subjected to increasing flame temperatures as it passes through the kiln, finally reaching temperatures up to 1450 degrees Celsius. During this process, the limestone slurry becomes clinker, a hard synthetic rock, the basic component of cement. After leaving the kiln, the clinker is cooled and stored, ready to produce cement. To produce 1 tonne of cement, the kiln firing process consumes energy roughly equivalent to the fuel needed to drive a car from Melbourne to Sydney and back. This just gives you some idea of the amount of energy required to fire the inside of a cement kiln like this one. And to produce that energy, several types of fuel can be used. Solid fuel, like coal, wood, tyres and coke. Liquid, such as heavy fuel oil, lighter blends of recycled oils and solvents. And gas. Natural gas is the main fuel used by Geelong Cement. All these fuels have one thing in common. They contain the combustible components carbon and hydrogen, which produce heat when burned with oxygen. Many materials, usually regarded as waste, such as solvents, oils and tyres, have these same properties. You would probably have some of these things around the home. They can all be used, or the byproducts of their manufacture can be used as an alternative or supplementary fuel in Geelong Cement's kilns. And what would normally happen to these waste products if they weren't being used for fuel? Current methods of disposal include incineration. Some are dumped in landfill areas which are rapidly diminishing. Others can't even be buried because of the threat of contamination. All of these methods create huge environmental problems. Extensive tests in Europe and North America have shown that cement kilns are a highly effective way to destroy many wastes. By burning these wastes and actually using the energy from them in the process, Geelong Cement is not only reducing its use of a valuable fossil fuel resource by up to 50%, it is also removing unwanted waste materials from the environment via an acceptable method, so alleviating waste disposal problems. Inside the cement kilns, the organic components of these wastes, burned as fuel, are essentially destroyed. Inorganic materials, such as metals in the waste, are locked into the clinker's crystalline structure as they bond with the raw materials that make clinker. For example, steel belts in tyres become part of the clinker, in the same way that common minerals become part of the cement. Geelong Cement currently has access to hundreds of thousands of tonnes of waste each year, in the form of solvents, waste oils, paper and tyres. All of these, as well as many other wastes, can be used as kiln fuel. However, Geelong Cement won't just burn any waste. The waste must conform to specifications. Victoria's Environment Protection Authority has approved the process used by Geelong Cement and regularly monitors it. Both these organisations work together closely to ensure that the emission levels into the air comply with the required standards. In fact, research has shown that emissions to the atmosphere are actually reduced when using waste materials as an alternative fuel. Carbon dioxide, water and nitrogen, which are elements acceptable to the environment, make up most of the gaseous emissions from cement kilns. Which is more good news for the environment. Geelong Cement's concern for utilising waste as fuel in the safest way possible is evident, even in the building of its solvent fuel facility at their Fyansford works. Prior to construction, approvals from a number of authorities, including the Environment Protection Authority of Victoria, Occupational Health and Safety Authority, the Country Fire Authority and local council were obtained. As a guide throughout design and for facility operation afterwards, the Australian safety standard AS1940 was used. This facility consists of 3 90 cubic metre storage tanks. Road tankers enter and park here from the roadway. The waste to be used as fuel is strained as it's pumped from the tanker to one of the storage tanks. A conduit has been installed under the roadway, which then carries the fuel to the main plant site. Before firing, samples of the recycled fuel are collected and tested for compliance with specification limits for the EPA and Geelong Cement. All possible safety precautions have been taken in this whole process. For instance, to eliminate the risk of fire, there is an extensive fire-fighting system, including fire safety valves. There is also a nitrogen blanketing system for the tanks. Other security measures include security fencing, an emergency response plan and an electrical equipment no-go zone. As you can see, Geelong Cement's commitment to using waste as a fuel in the safest possible way not only makes good environmental sense, it makes good business sense. By reducing fuel production costs, the company becomes more competitive, so providing more employment opportunities and giving the community in general an economic boost. So there is an answer to our waste problem, not only in eliminating the waste that exists, but also reducing the amount made in the future. And we can preserve our natural resources at the same time. The use of waste as fuel is a reliable and proven technology, which is safe, cost-effective and the most environmentally sound method of energy resource recovery available. Using this technology, Geelong Cement is leading the way in waste reduction. It's good to know that if we utilise recycling procedures around the house, companies like Geelong Cement are putting our efforts to good use. So next time you throw out the rubbish or change the oil in your car, think carefully.